Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we're talking to 1,000 Yard Stare. Check it out. There it is. Yes. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I am talking to Scott, Matt, Tony, and Chris of 1,000 Yard Stare. How you guys doing?
Good.
Here now
Awesome.
the heat went off, so I can actually hear you now. This is great. Excellent.
Awesome. And we've got fans. We've got Al. I'm going to butcher your name, and I'm sorry about it. I think it's Erocka. Not sure. And then Nick. So how are the fans doing?
Fans are good.
All right. Awesome.
Not really, but we're all right.
So I had the great fortune, and I can't remember if it was like 3 or 4 years ago, which is sad because that's a long time, to actually witness the incomprehensibly massive riffs of 1,000 Yard Stare live when you guys opened for Bell Witch and Yob at El Club. That was mind-blowing, and yeah. And I think I saw you guys at the Loving Touch too, right? You guys opened up.
Chemist. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That was another just awesome show. You guys are just so, I was thinking about this beforehand. Like, how do I describe for someone who's never heard your music, like what that's like? And then I thought, well, why the fuck should I do that? I'll let you guys describe that. So what is to you the sound of 1,000 Yard Stare?
Matt.
We just try to keep it as nasty as possible, man. You know, try to be heavy, try to be hard. We try to sound like Tom Jones, honestly.
We ain't that tough.
No, we're not nearly. We'll never be that tough.
One day, maybe, but I don't know.
Another 20 years. I've always had this thing with this band, since I joined, because I think we're always just trying to push that envelope now when we write, and we're in the midst of writing a new record as we speak. And, you should have been here a half an hour, 45 minutes ago. That was some fun stuff. But I'm always like, with the vision I have of this band is just literally plants colliding, like just the sound of rocks just destroying each other.
Yeah.
These guys may not share that opinion, but I mean, that's kind of this, just an absolutely massive sound that you've never, and I've only heard certain sounds in my life, a handful in my life that I, maybe not even music, but just sounds that I heard. And I was like, oh my God, that's the apocalypse. Like something that just literally just scares you, that just terrifies you. And I think that's another part of this music too, is just, it's terrifying, it really is. I think it is. It terrifies me, when I play it, But
Yeah.
that's right. It's, we really just work on just, really sour, broken sounds. I think, and that really is what I think scares people. Scares me.
Well, I think that's a great analogy, especially planets colliding, worlds colliding. I know that, space is a vacuum and there's, you can't actually hear, but if you could hear what it sounds like to be in a black hole, that's what I think of with 1,000 Yard Stare, just this massive roar. So
it's impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. But it's, but it's so, I don't know, uplifting's not the right word. It's experiential. You feel it, it's not just the music. There's a physical reaction I had when I saw you guys and when I've listened to your music. So anyway, I did want to touch on the fact that the dynamics of the band has changed a little bit because you now have Chris on drums. And I actually saw Chris with Dead Surf, I think your other band.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you opened up for Universal Temple of Divine Power and War Horses, and that was kick-ass, man.
That was the last-minute thing that we got on for their album release. It was really fun, though.
Yeah, so cool. So I wanted to kind of get back into how did 1,000 Yard Stare, come about, and then how did you end up pulling Chris into the fold?
Matt, Tony?
We started way back, man. We started at the end of '98.
Holy shit.
Yeah. We had a lot more of a, we still had all the feedback and all that, but we had a lot more of a hardcore vibe
Yeah.
going on, but still you can hear elements of what we do today in there too. But yeah, we've been trucking along for a minute.
Has the band always been called 1,000 Yard Stare?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Wow.
I was 8 years old in 1999.
Yeah.
when it started.
Nice.
I think the sound, and I mean, I wasn't in the band at that time when these guys started the band up, but Matt's 100% right. And I like when those, because, you know, and Matt, I don't want to put you on the spot, but Matt, the way Matt plays guitar, you know, it's a lot of just broken sounds, like I said. And I always say like broken glass, just broken sounds.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, when we're writing something or songs that we've already written, some of my favorite parts are when he does just do that chug, that muted chug, and he'll work that in somewhere. And then of course I'll do that with the bass guitar also. But those elements from the more hardcore elements they still live in this music. But I think we've gravitated more, I mean doom, death doom, I mean whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But again, the way I think we come at it though still is more just trying to push the elements of what sound, again, we're not, this isn't like totally like, philosophical stuff, but
Right.
find, okay, what can we mix together with these instruments to make something really overpowering? And like we were earlier when we were writing, we were working on a new tune, and Matt was saying, he's like, I just want people, to hear this song and go, fuck.
Yeah, I want people to count the time till it's over with.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any smiling faces. None of that shit. I want everyone to have a frown on their face and be like, when the fuck are these guys going to be done?
Yeah.
You don't even look at the crowd, so you wouldn't even know what our faces look like.
I was gonna
I know,
say.
right?
I remember that from trying to photograph you guys. I'm like, fucking goddamn guys,
Yeah,
turn
turn
toward his
around.
fucking man. Yeah. How am I gonna get a picture of this fucker?
That makes it fun though for us, in that aspect, and that's part of the sound too. Frankly, it really is, and there's a reason we do that. And I know in the older days when I joined this band, we played a lot on feel too. We played a lot on feel the first couple, maybe the first year I was in the band myself, and then I think we had the conversation like, okay, are we going to write songs? Because we do a lot of really neat stuff here. I like to do it again and again and again.
Right.
But a lot of that, but that still is like that element. Like we watch each other. There's a lot of, we play really slow, and I've said that for years. I mean, it's really tough to play fast, I think, but it's even harder, I think, to play really slow. It's very difficult.
The truth.
It's very difficult to play slow. So, I think a lot of bands that are kind of, in the continuum that we play in, Primitive Man, I guess a lot of people, they compare us to Primitive Man, which, it's a compliment for me. They're a brilliant band. But if you watch those guys play, Ethan literally sits sideways on the stage, and that's because he's watching the drummer. He's watching his band. He's watching, and I think we kind of do the same thing in that aspect too. It's a lot of feel and watching, even when the songs have been arranged and written. We still are kind of, just because sometimes the tempos change. Chris, I'm going to put you on the spot now, Chris. I found that Chris, sometimes when we play live, you'll play slower. Like we play slow at practice, but I found that the tempo gets slower, which is cool with all of us. We're all very happy.
If we get a good enough buzz, we play nice and slow.
Couple of beers, that brings the tempo down here. But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how did Chris end up getting into the fold of 1,000 Yard Stare?
Me and Chris used to talk online about like John Zorn and Mick Harris and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I saw him at I think it was a Savage 7 show or something, and
Yeah, I think that was
and we were just
the Sanctuary.
bull crapping or whatever, and
Yeah.
told him he should try out. But he lived way far away at the time, man. And then he hit up Scott, and next thing you know, he came by, and we jammed. We started.
Rest is history.
Yeah, that was,
we gelled right off the bat.
that was
four of us, man. This is
Yeah.
the best lineup of all right here, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
And experience it. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
So fans with bands is, not just about me talking, although I can just keep rattling on, but it's also about fans. So Al, Nick, Erocka, that name is throwing me the
I
fucking
want to
loop.
talk to Baraka, man.
I know, so do I. Want to find out if I'm saying this name right.
Scorpion and shit, man.
Right. Or if someone's just fucking with me. But anyway. You guys got any questions? 1,000.
I have a
2,000.
question.
Yeah, go
Where's
for it, man.
Erocka?
Yeah.
Is it Araka or Baraka?
It's
It's
Erocka. Yeah. Erocka.
Erocka.
Where is it?
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. So all right.
Dad, so when are you guys going to start recording? How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Soon.
That's
Yeah.
the worst answer ever. I want
It
want
is.
specifics.
I didn't know that was. The
I'd like to,
answer.
me
That's news to
personally,
me too.
I'd like to be in a studio by like April.
Oh, that's okay. That's
You know what I mean? Because we're gonna do a EP, but it's gonna be long as shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna
That means it's an LP.
yeah. It's only gonna be 4 or 5 songs, and it's gonna be about the length of a full length. But
Yeah, just
we've only got one more to truly write and get it real tight and everything else. And I'd like to get in there.
I think I can agree. We can all agree in this band that we probably weren't the most productive band over what we're calling the pandemic now.
Yeah, we didn't do anything.
We didn't do too much. I think we enjoyed our time and enjoyed our families and hung out.
Yeah.
We got together a handful of times in 2020, literally a handful of times in 2020. We didn't really play that much. And I know there was one night, I think we had a bonfire at my house. And I think we literally all sat down and said, "Are we still a band? We're all buddies, right?" But we were like, "Are we still a band? Are we still gonna?" And we agreed that we kind of agreed we wanted to do another record, and just kind of waited the timeline to get right. I think for all of us to be comfortable in the same room together, because we got people in this band with families and stuff, and with the this whole COVID thing flying around, we just didn't want to risk anything, So
Yeah.
kind of took time with that, and I think we're a band that writes together. I know with all the technology, a lot of bands, and I take my hat off to them. A lot of bands can, a lot of people get on Zoom and stuff like this and write songs. And I've even done stuff with people. But I think this is more of the element and how we've gelled together is more get together and argue it out, throw beer cans at each other, whatever it takes, and get the songs right. I think that's the way I think we're the three of us are older, and I think we just come from a time where that's kind of how you wrote songs,
Yeah.
really work it out, right?
Well, I was going to ask about the songwriting process because I'm in amazement of anybody that can I realize it's not necessarily like cutting edge technology to send MP3s around and write riffs and record and then send something out, because bands have been doing that for a while. But I am obviously an old fucker, and I'm in the same boat. And when I was in a band, it was get together in the jam space, and that's where things were created. So it sounds like you guys do the same thing. That creative process is together. Do you guys, as far as that riff writing conglomeration, is it a united front where everybody's coming in with ideas, or is it like Matt coming up with some riffs and then, Scott and Chris building off that? How does that work?
Matt's usually coming in with some Zach Wild bullshit. Count the number of pinch harmonics he's trying to throw.
Yeah, I'm usually all about pinch harmonics, man. That's usually, honestly, a lot of times, me and Scott will kind of talk and shit, and I'll come up with ideas, and he comes up with ideas, and then we yell at Chris to play slower, and then Tony doesn't do jack shit. He just shows up.
That's why we can't see him right now, right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh no!
I got riffs, Scott's got riffs, and we just work them together with Chris. And
Yeah, that's how
pretty
we've done it
much-
over. Yeah, I think that's just kind of how we've done it over the years. We just bring an idea in and build around it, or a couple ideas and build around them.
and then I'll hear the songs at my house and hate them, and we'll come back and rewrite them and shit. What we're doing today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you
Again,
guys
that's the more organic approach, I think, and I think that's just what we're used to doing. Maybe I'm right there with you, Chuck. Well, we're all old fuckers, I think, to a certain degree. But I think just that getting together, because I know, Matt, I don't know about you, but you bring a riff in, and you got this idea in your head, because I think a lot of us, we hear a riff in our head, and then we hear the whole band around that riff. So you come in with a vision, and I think that's kind of the cool part about it too, because it don't always work out that way. It works out to something different a lot of times because you're collaborating with people.
Yeah.
And I know I've never, in this band especially, have never brought anything in that didn't come out really cool. I think with people putting in their 2 cents and just fingering through it and saying, okay, we got a song now, cool. So it's just again, it's collaboration. It's very organic, I think.
It was kind of weird with the last record too, because every single song on that record was written except for Descend. That was the only one I wrote with you guys.
You came in, at a weird time.
So it's kind of weird, like coming in and learning like all these drum parts and everything.
But you did write your own parts to several songs in there, even though they were already written.
Yeah.
There was an idea. There was an idea.
The idea.
You just came in there and really put the flesh on it.
I mean, it wasn't a bad experience. It was challenging in a good way,
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that would be quite challenging because you've got to interpret the song that's already written, but then try to put like your own little bit of slice of you into that.
Right.
Part of that's going to come through organically just through your playing, right? But that's got to be crazy.
We've never been that kind of band where I bring a song over and be like, "Man, I'm not changing anything." We put it all together as a whole, all 4 of us. Even though I'm giving Tony shit, he usually puts in his 2 cents too. Nobody gives him any vocal patterns or nothing.
No, he just does them.
He just does his own shit.
And Tony's always, me and Matt have always said that he's the best singer in town, I think, because he comes in and just pukes it out basically, and it all just makes sense. It just makes sense with the song,
Right. Do you ever work in reverse where Tony comes up with like, hey, I've got this concept, these lyrical concept, and here it is, and then you guys write music to it?
Not really.
Well, not necessarily. Go ahead, Matt.
We got this new song that we're working on right now. It's got some really very offensive lyrics and shit, and can't wait to put it out there because it's gonna make people angry if anybody figures out what he's saying. It's
I think Tony, to that point.
I like that Tony's not really talking.
Yeah, just
And everybody else is talking for me.
No,
I love it.
Honestly, there was one interesting thing, in regards to that, Chuck, is, in that bonfire I mentioned last summer,
right.
One of the things that was mentioned was that Tony came up with this, this phrase. And I'm like, that's really cool. And it just happened to be at a time where my mind was in a bad spot. And I took that phrase and say, well, I love that idea. And it gives me a lot of ideas, and especially the mental state I was in. And I wrote a bunch of, not that I'm writing your lyrics for you, Tony, but I just wrote a bunch of ideas. Here, take it, And so, Tony has brought stuff in, and at least I know I am. I'm like, well, hey, man, that's a cool idea. Can I play with that? Get in that space and see what we got, So
right.
I think everybody's bringing something in here and there. Everybody contributes here. Again, I think it just goes back to that whole organic process that I keep mentioning. It's a very organic thing, and it just kind of happens,
Well, I honestly think that most bands where you have that kind of organic orchestration of all the members, I think that tends to be, for me, as a listener, like the music that I appreciate. When I find that out, right? I mean, you don't always know that as a listener, but the opportunity I have to talk with you guys and other bands, and you find that out, and you find that, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense because it's got like pieces of each of you in there. I I was wondering, Scott, you mentioned the fact that early on the band was very experimental, almost, just riffing off of things, and like the songs weren't really structured. So, and thinking of like seeing you guys live and the feedback and stuff like that, is that incorporated? Like, do you think about that when you're putting together a tune and you're saying, all right, here, like when you're building the song, you feel that opportunity. So Matt feels an opportunity to do some kind of crazy off, dissonant, I don't know, some kind of sonic thing that happens there. Do you like say, okay, I'm going to keep that and remember that? Or is it like, all right, this is the part where we just come into the tune and it's like a little bit of jazz where we're going to improvise?
No, absolutely. Everything we do is intentional, man. Like all the parts where it stops and there's feedback and everything. And I try to do it the same every time. It's not just because we're super loud or anything, and that's from years and years listening to Godflesh and stuff like that like I try to work feedback in as like, honestly, I'd like to do a song that I don't play a note except for feedback. And it would be great,
Yeah.
these guys into it, but
What you do is
but yeah, it's intentional.
It's basically constructed feedback.
Yeah.
Well, it's orchestrated chaos.
Yes,
More
there
or less
you go.
what it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of what we do, it sounds like, I know it sounds very random and just, but it is calculated. I know for like the new stuff we're writing, myself on the bass guitar, I'm trying a lot, experimenting with just a lot of harmonic notes, just working harmonic notes in, not really necessarily pressing down on the fretboard, but just doing, a harmonic on the fret itself. Just getting different sounds.
And Scott's got new equipment now than he had before, and he gets really good feedback too. So now you're getting hit by me and him. So yeah, it's even nastier and more ear piercing, which is great.
That's so awesome. Let's see. Go around the horn again. Anybody got questions?
Well, it's funny because you were asking them about how they write songs, because I always kind of wondered that too. I knew you guys wrote shit, but I didn't know like how it would come together. And like, Chris is a third drummer I've seen play with you guys, and I'm always just like, how in the fuck are you keeping time with this shit? How where are you finding these rhythms? And like out of all three, Chris, like you hear that more Godflesh, you hear that, consistent kind of machine driving, pounding. While the other dudes were like, they had their own ways, but it was just, I don't know, there's something about the way that Chris drums and kind of ties it all together with like the rhythm and the timing, and it's so awesome to watch you guys play because of that now. Like before, it was just kind of like, okay, they're really loud, you feel it in your body, and it's kind of obnoxious, and that's cool. But like, with Chris playing now, it's like recognize the songs and feel the songs, and like you can appreciate it more.
Well, I think the thing with Chris is because I wouldn't consider you. I don't need. You're not videotaping. I don't need to be in the fucking picture. I'm saying that Chris is different than those drummers in the way those dudes were all metal drummers, and I wouldn't consider you close.
You got a really wide.
Not close-minded. I'm not meaning close-minded, but I mean, you have. Yeah, very wide. I mean, just like all of us, we're all,
nerds, music nerds.
That totally makes
Chris
sense, man. Because like you'd think like, a metal drummer would again have, you guys said it's hard to play slow. Like metal drummers playing slow, man. I don't even think that's a thing, dude.
No.
Like anybody that's going to be able to keep it down and low and not have that tendency to speed up, that's a real drummer, man. That ain't just a metal drummer.
Yeah, it's hard in general to play slow. It's way harder than playing fast, in my opinion.
Well, if you fuck up, it's like, damn.
Oh, everyone.
Yeah.
You got to wait 5 seconds so you hit the drum again, man.
I didn't start off as a metal drummer either. That's like my trajectory started off with a lot of like, I don't know, noise rock and punk and stuff like that.
That's
So.
good, man.
Yeah. Well, and it may give you that kind of like outside the box kind of feel so that you can come into a doom band because again, like you were saying, Al, like I'm amazed at when I see a doom band, like, that their drummers like keep it together because I'm like, how the fuck is this guy keeping time? Because I'm like,
let's go.
Oh yeah, and then like fuck.
Yeah.
When is it gonna hit that tom? Oh no, it's not right now. It's like fucking A.
Right,
That
man.
anxiety that this music creates, though, too. And that's part of it, I think, because the mind, as you brilliantly illustrated, Chuck, is your mind tends to want to speed up like that. That's anxiety more. When there's some bands. I mean, you mentioned Bell Witch earlier, who's a good example of that. I mean, that's something, and I love to listen to that band so much, but they give me so much anxiety sometimes, especially when I see them play live, and they're amazing to see live. And I'm going to say this: are they fun to see live? Not so much, and that is not a shot at them in any way whatsoever. That's a compliment. Right. Actually, I think they take that as a compliment because
it was rough. It was rough watching them when you played with those guys because like you're sitting there watching it, dude, and it seems even slower live because you're just like, what am I supposed to do? Just stand here? Like it is. It's agonizing.
We played with them twice, and that band is so good, man. They're amazing, nice dudes, too.
Yeah, real nice guys.
Good.
Yeah. I think it's a challenge. I remember watching a documentary about neurosis, and they were talking to Scott Kelly. And one of the things that stuck with me for years since I've seen this documentary, and he's like, our music is a challenge to listen to. This is not some 1-2-1-2 dance shit that you party to. Our music is a challenge to listen to. And I think that statement right there basically sums it up. And it sums it up, I know, for our band too. And it sums it up for Bell Witch, and it sums it up for a lot of bands in this genre, I think, is this music is a challenge. It's something you would more observe like a piece of art than going, it's something to observe like a piece of art. And I think that's why I know I gravitate towards stuff like this now, because it is something that I want to really get the wine and cheese out and put my pinky out and really get into it. That's a lot. No, I'm not goofing around, but I'm serious. Like, you do. I mean, I do observe it like that. Like I listen to the tones and I hear what's going on and how the songs are crafted and stuff like that.
We're not for the lower classes. I think.
No, this is a high class band here. We only play at art exhibits now.
I brought out the heavy hitters for you guys. This fucking brewery, Ogma Brewing in Jackson. You fuckers need to hook up with these guys. This is called Doomclaw, and I thought of you guys. I'm like, fuck, I gotta find a good beer to drink with these fuckers, and boom, there you go. Yeah. Nice. So I got my pinky up, and I'm fucking enjoying. Yeah.
We're doing a good old tried and true here tonight. Practice beer. You don't want to go hard when you're practicing.
Exactly.
You need a beer, Matt?
Oh, hell yeah, but it's all right.
It's the middle of the fucking interview.
Do you need a beer, man? We'll take a time out for Matt's beer.
Matt can go get it. We can all talk shit about him.
That's right. So something I like to do, like just to get back into like the foundation of each of you as musicians is to talk about like what got you into wanting to play music. Who was that band or musician that really inspired you? So let's start with Tony, since we've not talked to Tony too much.
I don't know. I've always wanted to be in a band from like being a little kid, listening to 8-tracks, going on the back patio with like a tennis racket to like, even stuff like Jay Giles band and like my brother's 8-tracks and Blizzard of Oz and just, you know, basically wanted to be a rock star when I was a kid. Now I just want to, you know, annoy people.
Awesome.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. Actually scare the fuck out of people because it's like, so yeah. Scott, how about you?
The first band.
Well, just like who got you, like what inspired you to want to be a musician?
My aunt let me hear the Ramones when I was like 5 years old, 6 years old, and then I heard
Nice.
Kiss, and
Yeah.
she put me on the Black Sabbath and all that.
Fuck.
All that stuff in that. I got spoon fed that, and I was spoiled rotten as a child. When I heard those bands initially, that just blew my mind. And I remember seeing those bands playing. And your view changes as you age.
Oh yeah.
Same thing I think with Tony. I just saw the Ramones especially. Ramones just blew my mind because just something they didn't look the same, but they looked the same. Down to the haircuts almost, and that just really blew. And how they just were, especially well, Tommy not so much, but Marky when he came in, how he just never moved a muscle back there. But the guy just didn't seem to move a muscle behind the drum kit. But the music is so insanely intense, and it's making you lose your mind.
And they wrote them hit songs too, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
They could do anything you put in front of them, basically. But and also just dare I say, the simplicity of it, how direct it was, and so on the nose. And I'm like,
Right.
that's something I could do, man. I could do that. And I think that, and the Ramones, that's an easy one to say. It really is, because I think those guys told a lot of people my age that. They told a lot of people my age, like, hey, man, do it. And thankfully, a lot of us did. It's cool. So, yeah. Sabbath, Ramones, stuff like that growing up is just timeless. I still listen to that stuff every week. Still have to listen. I have to listen to that stuff every week. It'll never leave me.
Chris, how about you? What got you into wanting to be a drummer?
Nirvana, Dave Grohl.
Nice.
He was the guy for me when I was a little kid. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty simple. Just, I don't know, something about those big beats, all the flams and the toms, and just
I think you just beat the hell out of the kid,
just
man.
the hard hitting, and then like that kind of went from there to like Puffy from Faith No More, like kind of the same thing. Like just those two guys really were some of the biggest inspirations on me as a drummer.
Awesome. Have you listened to Dave's book or read it?
I have not. No.
It's actually pretty interesting, and he talks about the fact that he's like a fucking Cro-Magnon behind the drums, beating the fuck out of them. So that's cool.
Which book? The Storytellers?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a good book. I enjoyed it. I really would like to meet Dave and hang out, and I think it would be fun to drink a beer with him. So, Dave, if you ever listen to this,
I think that's a universal fact.
I'm
Dave
Chuck.
Grohl would be a fun guy to have a beer with.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good question. I'm going to ask that in a minute because I'm interested to find that out too. But next, Matt, what got you into playing music?
When I was a kid, man, it was Judas Priest and Iron Maiden for me, man. I was like,
Nice.
I want to play guitar like these dudes, man. And
Yeah.
like my first concert, I was 12 years old. My mom took me and a couple of my buddies to see Priest, and that was like the greatest shit in the world, As a little kid, it was so awesome. But yeah, it started off with all that kind of stuff, and then as time went on, I discovered like basically every cool punk rock band in like 1 week of my life. I discovered like Dead Kennedys and GBH and all that shit all at one point in time, and it's like everything changed for me that day. My homie had a big brother who was all about that stuff, and man, it turned into Metallica and Slayer and all that, but essentially Priest, man, that was the reason I wanted to play guitar.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I just
that was
seen him a couple months ago, actually, too. It was great.
yeah. The recent one, where was that? At?
Fox.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It was awesome.
I sound
Obviously,
like
didn't have Glenn and KK or nothing, but Rob's 70 years old, man. And guy still sounds great.
He does. Yeah. I'm hoping that, you know, he can.
Not too nerdy, but Andy Sneap really.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
Hell yeah.
legendary engineer, and I've been following his work for many years. You know, I'm really happy to see him in that spot now. He deserves to be in a band like that.
Wasn't he in Sabbath?
Sabat from England.
Sabat.
Sabat. Noise Records from England. Yeah, fantastic. He's engineered a bunch of Exodus, Temple of the Damned, their comeback record in 2004, which to me, it's a very tough call, and I'll get beat up if I say it's my favorite record. I don't want to be on the street if I say that. I might have to say it's my favorite Exodus record. The production on that record is perfect. The guitars just rip your face off.
We've already
Is that
Exodus.
is that the album that has
Yeah,
also,
earlier.
is that a Rob Dukes album? Is Rob Dukes on that one?
Which album?
The Exodus album. Is Rob Dukes
Well,
singing?
Steve Souza's on the newest one.
Oh,
And he's
I'm-
been,
No,
Persona non grata.
that's
oh, no, you're talking about Temple of the Damned? No, Steve Souza was on that record too.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
And he quit.
Okay.
Then he came back.
Oh, all right. God damn it.
If you haven't listened to it, it's a beast. It's a beast.
Nice.
And yeah, you're right. This is the second Exodus discussion we've had tonight. You're right, Chris.
Thank you.
We were discussing the singers of Exodus earlier.
there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve, Rob Dukes, and what was the first guy? Paul
Paul
Ball.
Baloff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Paul Baloff.
Baloff,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yes. Is it? Does that album have "War Is My Shepherd"?
Wars by Shepherd is on Temple of the Damned. Yeah.
Yes, that song's the fucking greatest Exodus song.
Throwing
of all
Down
time.
is the track, though. It's a slower song. Throwing Down is just a song about fighting. It's about beating the hell out of people. I just think it's such a great track.
None of them motherfuckers know how to fight.
Well, and I just can't see Gary Holt beating the shit out of somebody, but the song really there's a song on there about a bad marriage too. There's some really weird topics, but the songs are all heavy.
Oh man, I still remember "Toxic Waltz." That was a classic.
Yeah. Good track.
Yeah. So kind of switching topics to the beer topic. Like, you know, we were talking about, I'd like to hang out with Dave Grohl and drink a beer. So Matt, if you're going to hang out with anybody really, it could be a musician, it could be somebody else, but who would you like to just sit down and have a beer with and talk about shit?
Tom Jones.
Yeah, my brain is telling me to say Tom Jones. That is 100% true, but I'd really like to sit down and talk with Justin Broderick for a little while, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
and, that's my dude right there. So
Yeah.
Tom Jones would be freaking fantastic too, though.
I think that would be super interesting. I mean, you could get a lot of good stories, but
You need to get Tom Jones and Justin Broderick to do a record together.
oh, can you imagine?
What a
That'd be
collaboration.
the hardest shit ever.
You just gotta
Can
get-
you imagine?
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Chris, how about you, man? Is it
That's
Dave
a
still?
Big question.
Yeah, that's-
Honestly, Mike Patton. would be
Yeah.
one that I
Nice.
pull out of the air.
Yeah.
Can I change my vote?
Very
So you-
influential throughout my life.
I got to tell you guys, I feel like I would be intimidated by hanging out with Mike Patton. I think
Yes.
I'd be scared to talk to him, and I'd get into that total fanboy thing of like, and not say anything and feel like an asshole. But
I talked to him at a show and I felt like that too. I was like embarrassed.
Me too, man. Me too. Because he gives you that look where he's just like,
Yeah.
and you're just like, you just feel ashamed for even bothering. I know. I did that too, man. It's awful.
yeah, I've had too many experiences like that where I walk up to somebody, you know, that I really admire, and I'm just get fucking tongue tied, and I'm like, blah, blah, and they're like, who is this fucking starting idiot? And then, why is he here? But anyway,
You'd be like Scott, like when he yelled at what's his name from
Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Man.
Danny Lilker? Yeah.
Shut up. Shut up. Everybody shut up,
Fucking
man.
Al was there, dude.
Yeah, Al was there.
Me and Al egged that whole
Fucking
thing up.
embarrassing, man. You know, but I made up for it a month later at the Maryland Death Fest. I walked up to the guy and manned up and said, "I'm really sorry about my shitty behavior."
You did, because Scott, I was there with you, I believe.
I know you were there.
Yeah,
We were all there.
That was awesome. Oh man! So Scott, who'd you like to hang out with and drink a beer?
Oh man, I'm gonna get beat up for this. It's somebody nobody knows probably, but he's not even a musician. He's an author. It's Neil Stephenson. I don't know if
yeah, hell yeah.
Neil
Snow
Stephenson.
Crash.
Yeah, he's my all-time. Yeah, Snow Crash. He's one of my all-time favorite authors. You know, the thing about that is I've been really lucky because being a dork that I am, I've kind of got to meet all my hero. I've got to actually meet a lot of my heroes. Not maybe necessarily had a beer, but I've got to meet all my heroes. You know, I really have. Maybe a few that I haven't yet or whatever. But you know, just thinking about that, I'm like, you know, who would I really like to sit down and have a beer with and like talk about things? It would be Neil Stephenson. And I know that's probably way in left field for a lot of people, but I have every damn thing he's ever written, and I keep buying everything he's ever written. And I mean, I don't get to do as much reading as I like to do these days. But that's one guy that I make it a point to sit down and read his books.
Hell yeah! Doesn't he have a new
fascinating guy? And you know, a lot of ideas that are out there right now, that, you know, people, technology and things like that. He was a guy that kind of had a part in a lot of this stuff, you know.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Snow Crash is definitely things we're seeing now.
Time, and that book is like 25 years old now. So
yeah. Doesn't he have a new one out right now?
Yeah, Termination Shock.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got a copy sitting in my house, and I got to sit down. I'm going to sit down with my time off I have, and I'm going to read it. But that's it. I hate to be a dork, but that really is a guy that that's one guy I have not got to sit down and talk to. And he'd be really cool to crack a beer with and go, dude, let's talk about some really, which an hour.
Yeah.
You're barely scraping the edge.
Oh no. Yeah.
With that guy, you're not getting anything, but I would love that opportunity though.
Right. Well, that's the beauty of beers. You can have, you know, an hour in and all of a sudden you're like, hey, let's have a couple more.
For a month, you know, and that's what I'm planning on doing. You know?
That's right.
Yeah, with misery. Yes,
you are Kathy Bates.
I am Kathy Bates.
You're the dirty birdie.
Tony, how about you, man?
Nobody.
What a jackass.
What a jackass.
No, I'm
a jerk.
I'm not a jerk.
There's nobody you want to hang out with and drink a beer
either.
I don't drink beer, so.
Oh, well, maybe just hang out with.
I mean, like you said, Dave Grohl would be pretty cool to talk to.
He'd be fun.
Willie Nelson, maybe.
Oh, dude.
Willie. Now that would be awesome because that dude will have stories up the ass.
Benjamin Todd.
Benjamin Todd would be a cool guy to sit down with also.
Amigo the Devil. I mean, I've already sat down and talked with him, but Amigo the Devil's really cool to talk to.
Awesome.
Benjamin Todd would be a guy. He's a country singer. Me and Tony like a lot, and that would be one. Yeah, Tony. There you go. There's your guy right there. I'm looking for you, Benjamin Todd.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I want to be there too. I'm going to sneak in there also and hang out with him.
Al, how about you? Who would you like to hang out with and
Oh my God.
drink or not drink? You don't have to either way.
1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be Scott Lambert.
Oh, you poor.
And I wouldn't get a word in edgewise.
Hey, imagine Scott and Bradley.
Right. I just sit there and nod as they yell talk at each other.
Yeah.
That is perfect.
Fuck you.
I love you.
Wow.
You have to scream at him once in a while to take a breath.
Somebody asked me a question, I give an answer. Somebody asked me a question, I give an answer. Don't touch me.
That's what you got. That's what you got to do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
So another thing I like to do on Fans with Bands is talk about first albums, and we might have touched on that a little bit, but let's just get into that first. And it could be tape, CD, whatever. But the first one you either bought with your own money or you were like gifted. Like somebody said, "Hey, you need to have this album." So Matt, how about you?
first tape I ever bought with my own money was Van Halen 1984.
Nice.
And then first record I ever got was Holy Diver.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic
I
album.
had cool cousins pointing me in the right direction, man.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Then my first
Nice.
CD I ever got was Altars of Madness.
Really? Holy
Yeah.
shit. So like you made the actual conscious decision to like, I'm gonna get Altars of Madness.
Oh yeah, dude. I had all that shit.
We all
Every
Oh, yeah.
anything on Erocka or I bought anything
Runner.
at the time. I got burned a couple of times on some bullshit, but
Yeah. Well, there's
yeah, like
nothing.
Altars of Madness and War Master. I think I bought those the same day.
Yeah,
Classics.
I mean, nothing wrong with Morbid Angel, but like when CDs came out, I was like, fuck, I could get some Pink Floyd, and I got some Pink Floyd, and I was like, oh,
Right.
all right, and then it was less than stellar. So anyway, I think you achieved maximum saturation with the fucking Morbid Angel.
Yeah, anything that like looked evil or sang about Satan or any of that shit at the time, I had to scoop it up.
Oh,
Deacon's first album, all that, man.
Oh yeah,
I was all over that shit.
So glad.
yeah.
But it's just
Yeah.
it's written perfectly though too. Like every song just crushes. It's such a perfect record.
Chris, how about you?
The first album that I was gifted, well, unfortunately, when I was really young, I got some like Garth Brooks CDs. and
Nice.
stuff, as gifts.
Or was it Chris Gaines?
But I wish it was Chris Gaines. It's a little tough, but I was gifted Nevermind a little bit later, and then I bought In Utero as my first album that I bought for myself.
Excellent, fantastic. Scott, how about you?
I was thinking about this, and I don't know exactly the timeline, but it was either Mental Health by Quiet Riot that I was gifted, or it could be Judas Priest Rock'n'Rolla, first Judas Priest record.
Whoa.
Yeah, I guess I can't remember which one was which, but they both came into my possession around the same time.
Around the same time. Wow.
What's bought both of those for me?
It's good shit.
Yeah.
It's great shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite a, it's quite a, like a, I don't want to say dichotomy, but it's the beginning of hair metal, really. I mean, Quiet Riot is. And then you've got fucking Judas Priest. Like, what the fuck? So that's cool.
Yeah, I remember exactly which one it was, but they're both killer records though. Still listen to
They
them.
are.
Yeah.
They are.
Great records.
Tony, how about you?
The first cassette that I was gifted was either mental health or Stay Hungry.
Oh, nice. Stay Hungry is
First-
awesome.
Vinyl I ever bought was Seven Churches from Possess.
Nice.
And the first CD I ever bought was, we were just talking about that, Matt. Who's that? Hey,
Oh God, Rob Bass.
Rob Bass was the first CD I ever bought.
That's awesome.
Nice. That's fucking awesome.
I want to point out if we're talking about formats, the first CD I ever bought was Mind Wars by Holy Terror. Just because I want to make you guys are gonna get pissed about that, I know. So I just want to say that because I had to hear that on CD.
What was the
Is
first
that the one with the
MP3
tree?
that you downloaded?
Jesus Christ.
It was a Razor. It was Cross Me. I can tell you. I remember it. Cross Me Fool by Razor. I already had the records, but I mean, on Napster. Is Lars going to get me for saying this? But I can say Cross Me Fool by Razor.
Oh man.
Probably still have it. Yeah.
That's what I love about talking with Scott about music. He's just like a goddamn encyclopedia.
He really is.
It's fucking awesome. Al, how about you, man? I think we've talked about this before, but I'm sorry. I can't
No,
remember.
that's all right, man. No, like one of the very first things I remember getting is a 45 of Blondie, The Tide is High.
Nice.
I used to listen to that song all the time. I just thought it was so cool, man.
Yeah. Awesome.
And
How about
I
first CD?
think like the outfield was like maybe like the first tape, the outfield.
Yeah.
Like super.
Yeah.
I didn't really get into metal until my brothers listened to hair metal. First CD that I ever got was Master of Puppets, so that's I made up.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. That's a crushing, awesome album.
my folks
that's a
my
world
folks
changer,
had-
man.
Yeah.
So, my folks had a stack of 45s in the basement, and I started going through those when I was really young, and they still have it. I think they actually have an original 45 to kick out the jams.
Hell
the
yeah.
MC5,
Oh, really?
the clean version
Wow.
and the dirty version.
Wow.
No shit.
All they did was just cut the tape, of course, because we know the original, kick out the jams. I mean,
Fuckers.
the cut version, they just cut that off, and the band just kicks in on the B side, the clean version.
That's fucking awesome.
And I used to,
man.
I never heard a band do that. Ever.
Nobody did.
Hear a band like on stage
No.
do that. It blew my, and I was probably way too young to hear that, but it was awesome.
That's
Yeah.
funny because like today at work, one of the high-low drivers drove right by me and stopped to ask me a question, and he was actually listening to Kick Out the Jams.
Yeah, like once a week, man. That's a big diet right there.
So usually I only ask one controversial question, but I thought for the holidays I would ask two controversial questions. And so, very first controversial question is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?
It is a Christmas movie for sure.
Yeah, it's Christmas.
Definitely a Christmas movie.
I've never given it shit, frankly. I know there's this.
How you gonna
debate.
hate on Die
I'm
Hard?
not hating on it. It's a great movie. I just don't give a shit about the debate.
It's a Christmas movie,
I'm
bro.
on the fence, man.
I mean, like, I don't give a shit either, but he asked a question, so I'm picking a side. And
Right.
Okay, fine. It's not a Christmas movie then. Let's have the fist fight in front of the phone. Absolutely not.
I just think any movie
I
that
didn't
takes
say I didn't
place
like Die Hard. I love
during
Die Hard.
the
It's a
holidays
fantastic movie.
would be considered a
Fucking
Christmas
Hans
movie.
Gruber.
It's
Hey,
kind of
okay,
like
fine.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's a Thanksgiving
It's a
movie.
Thanksgiving movie.
Yes, it
Takes
is.
place at Thanksgiving.
What about
I
the
always
rep?
hated his wife in that.
The Ref is a Christmas movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're saying there's been a debate about the rep, whether it's a Christmas movie. or
It's a
not.
fucking great movie
It's a
too.
fantastic movie.
What about Trading
Yes,
Places?
That's a
Trading
Christmas
Places is a
movie
Christmas movie.
Trading Places.
for sure. Oh yeah. So Chris, did you weigh in? What was your vote?
oh yeah, it's a Christmas movie.
All right, cool. Awesome. And Al?
Yeah, it is. It took me a while, but it is.
Awesome. So guys, I really appreciate you guys being on Bands with Bands. And so the very last controversial question, you probably already know what I'm going to talk about. It's altered world politics, I'm sure, and changed the fundamental dynamics of the universe. And that is pineapple or no pineapple on pizza? Matt.
I've never had it, man.
What?
I've never tried it. Yeah.
Wow.
My son works at Jets, and I've never even had it.
You know, like 8 slices, like this red one.
I don't know. Is
slice.
it good? I don't know. I've never had it.
It's fantastic.
I like it. Yeah, I love it. My girlfriend hates it. She can't go for any warm fruit. But
Yeah.
I don't like it either. I love pizza and I
It's
like
fantastic.
pineapple, but I don't like it together.
You never had a Hawaiian?
Yeah, I don't like
It's
it.
fantastic. Absolutely.
All
Now,
right. So
not all the time, but you
yeah.
know, yeah, it's really good.
Pineapple's good. You know, it's good shit.
Yeah.
Great on
So
pizza.
so Scott and Chris are in, Tony's out, and Matt's undecided. He still needs to get some.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, if you put it in front of me, I'd probably eat it.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody's yeah. If
Pizza's
there's
kind
pizza
of
there.
like the old thing is pizza's kind of like sex. It's not always good, but you're always
But
gonna
it's
take
there.
it.
Oh, that's perfect.
No one's ever had sex before.
No.
And,
somehow he
and,
has children
He's got.
now.
and Al, have you changed your opinion at all over time?
No, I love pineapple on pizza. But have you guys ever heard of like the chili dog pizza?
Yeah, that's
It's the most disgusting fucking sounding thing. It's like instead of like tomato sauce, it's like chili, and then there's like onions and mustard on it.
It doesn't sound too bad.
If you like
actually.
chili dogs, I bet you'd love it, but I don't like that shit. So
I'd eat that.
I'd say
That's
compared
not
to
what it was
pineapples,
invented by a
pineapples are just a little fruit, man. That whole thing, I don't know.
Huh. You know, I'm intrigued. I need to try it.
Check
now.
into that shit, man.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You
Awesome.
fuss a lot, Al.
Yeah, watch your mouth.
Oh, wow.
What are you talking about? I go
Well,
all
guys-
day without fucking swearing, so I gotta let it all out, man. I'm like a balloon letting out all the air after I fucking held it in all day.
Awesome. Guys, thank you again so much for being on Fans
Thank
with
you.
Bands.
Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
thanks,
Thanks,
Chuck.
Chuck.
This was great.
Yeah, it's been good talking to you again. It's been a while. Thanks.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I can't wait to see you guys live because I've not seen Chris play. So
Oh,
Cool.
God,
well,
it's great.
except for Dutch Surf. So yeah, looking
Well,
forward
Playing
to it.
Lansing in February.
I'm gonna quit before the next show. So.
Yeah.
Damn it, you bastard. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Thank you.
All right,
See
thanks
ya.
again, Chuck.
See you, Chuck.
Hey guys,
All right.
good talking with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks to Matt, Scott, Tony, Chris, and Stu for joining me on this episode of Fans of Bands. 1000 Yard Stare is back in action and working on recording new music which captures the doom-laden death of 100,000 stars. Can you hear it? Keep your eyes and ears wide open for upcoming shows and new music coming soon. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.